Hello friends, I am Devesh Ahir from RBNB College, Srirampur. Today, I deliver a lecture on the topic Rotational Dynamics from 12th Science HSC Board Syllabus. Before starting the rotational dynamics, in 11th standard, we study some term regarding to circular motion. So, everybody knows circular motion. The motion of electrons revolving around the nucleus is the one of the example of circular motion. Also we know that Earth is revolving around the Sun. Moon is revolving around the Earth. These are some examples of the circular motion. According to this example, we can say that an object revolving around the circumference of a circle, that motion of object along the circumference of circle is called as circular motion. If you consider an object A moving along the circumference of a circle in anti-clockwise sense or clockwise sense, then motion of this object A is circular motion. So from this example, we can say that circular motion means the motion of an object along the circumference of a circle is called as circular motion. If we consider O is the center of circle, and if we draw the vector from the center of circle to the position of vector on the circumference, that vector is called as a radius vector. It is called as a radius vector. It is also called as position vector because it gives us position of particle on the circumference of a circle, and therefore it is called as a radius vector or position vector. Now definition of radius vector can be written as like that. This vector starts from the center of circle, ends on the circumference of circle, therefore it is called as radius vector. So radius vector can be defined as the vector drawn from the center of circle to the circumference of the circle is called as a radius vector. As it is along the radius, so it is shown by R, and it is vector, so we write vector R. Vector R is the radius vector or position vector, and it can be defined as like that: the vector drawn from the center of circle to the position of particle on the circumference of circle is called as a radius vector. Now initially when particle is at position A, and in anti-clockwise sense after some time particle move from A to B, the distance is small and it is as like the arc, then there is smaller angle between this OA and OB. This smaller angle is called as angular displacement. This smaller angle is called as angular displacement. So we can define the definition of angular displacement. Delta theta. So from this diagram we can define the definition of angular displacement. The angle traced by the radius vector in a given time is called as angular displacement. Very simple definition. For that definition, we see the diagram. With the help of this diagram, we can define the definition of angular displacement as like the radius vector. So, what is the definition of angular displacement? The angle traced by the radius vector in a given time is called as angular displacement. If this angle is very small, then angular displacement is vector quantity. This angular displacement is vector when this angle is very small. This angle is large, then this quantity will become scalar. So, this angular displacement can be given by formula delta theta bar is equal to arc AB upon radius. Formula for angular displacement is delta theta bar is equal to arc AB upon radius. And if this arc AB is equal to small s, this distance is between AB is s, then this formula will become delta theta bar, that is equal to delta s bar upon radius r bar. Upon radius r bar. So in this way we get smaller angle delta theta bar is equal to d delta s bar upon r bar. Now by rearranging this one, we get delta theta bar is equal to delta s bar cross r bar. So this is in vector form, angular displacement in vector form. Delta theta bar is equal to delta s bar cross cross r bar. Now from this we can find out angular displacement. Delta theta bar is equal to delta s bar cross r bar. In scalar form, this relation can be written as delta theta is equal to delta s into r. Now we have to find out SI unit of the angular displacement. The SI, it is measured in terms of angle, or according to definition of angular displacement. It is angle traced by the radius vector. So angle is measured in terms of radian. So SI unit of angular displacement is radian. It is radian. So in this way we study the angular displacement. Simply remember the definition of angular displacement. Angular displacement means angle traced by the radius vector in a given time, that is called as angular displacement. Angular displacement is given by this formula delta theta bar is equal to delta s bar cross r bar in vector form. In scalar form, same formula is written as delta theta is equal to delta s into r. Now we know that velocity is a physical quantity which depends upon displacement, and therefore angular velocity depends upon the angular displacement. Angular velocity depends upon angular velocity. Now for the angular velocity, we can say that this angular velocity it is shown by symbol omega bar. It is shown by symbol omega bar. So definition of omega bar is the rate of change of angular displacement with respect to time is called as angular velocity. We know the definition of linear velocity. Linear velocity means the rate of change of linear displacement with respect to time is called as linear velocity. Similarly, angular velocity can be defined as the rate of change of angular displacement with respect to time is called as angular velocity. So we write omega bar is equal to d theta bar by dt, rate of change of angular displacement with respect to time, that is equal to angular velocity. Omega bar is equal to d theta bar by dt. Now, what is the SI unit of angular velocity? SI unit of angular displacement is radian. So, SI unit of angular velocity is radian per second. Radian per second is the SI unit of angular velocity. Now, we know that as velocity depends upon displacement, similarly acceleration depends upon the velocity. So, we have to define the another definition, angular acceleration. This angular acceleration, symbol of angular acceleration is alpha bar. So, rate of change of angular velocity with respect to time is called as angular acceleration. So, we write alpha bar is equal to d omega bar by dt. According to definition, formula of alpha bar is d omega bar by dt. Now, this angular velocity is vector quantity, that's why we write omega bar. Angular acceleration is also vector quantities, therefore we write alpha bar, and this alpha bar is equal to d omega bar by dt. Now, SI unit of angular acceleration is radian per second square. According to definition of angular acceleration means rate of change of angular velocity with respect to time, therefore its SI unit is radian per second square. In this way, we study radius vector, angular displacement, angular velocity, angular acceleration. Now, we have to study the direction of each physical quantity. So, for the direction, if we consider particle is at position A. When particle is at position A, then a linear velocity at A is given by, it is along the tangent. It is along the tangent. So, this is the linear velocity v bar. This is the direction of linear velocity when particle is at position A. When particle is at position B, then direction of linear velocity is again along the tangent. Now, if we concentrate on the direction of a radius vector and linear velocity, in that case, linear velocity and radius vector both are perpendicular to each other. Means the linear velocity is perpendicular to radius vector. Also, this linear velocity at point B is also perpendicular to radius vector. So, remember all that always radius vector is perpendicular to linear velocity and linear velocity is along the tangent. This linear velocity is along the tangent and therefore this velocity is also called as tangential velocity. Because linear velocity is along the tangent and therefore it is also called as tangential velocity. Now, this radius vector move from center to position of particle. Linear velocity is along the tangent. Now, by using the right hand thumb rule, we can write the or we can draw the direction of the omega. Omega means angular velocity. Now, as particle moving in anti-clockwise sense, so curved fingers are shown along the motion, then thumb denote the direction of omega, means it is along the axis. Angular velocity is along the axis and therefore it is also called as axial vector. It is also called as axial vector because it is along the axis. So in this diagram we draw the direction of the angular velocity omega bar. This omega bar is along the axis. Omega bar is along the axis. For more comfort, if we draw the circle in a horizontal way, particle moving in a anti-clockwise sense, then this is the point O, center of the circle, and this is the radius vector r bar. This is the radius vector and this is the position of particle A on the circumference of circle. Now at A, velocity moves along the tangent, so this is the direction of velocity. This velocity and radius vector perpendicular to each other but lies in the same plane. Now axis, this is the axis passing through the center O, and omega bar is angular velocity. Omega bar is the angular velocity along the axis. So this is the direction of omega bar. This is the direction of omega bar. We know that V bar and R bar lies in the same plane while omega bar is along the axis. Omega bar is along the axis. And we know the relation between a linear velocity and angular velocity. Relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. So this is equal to V bar is equal to omega bar cross R bar in vector form. In vector form we write V bar is equal to omega bar cross R bar. In that case V bar is the tangential velocity or linear velocity. Omega bar is the angular velocity and R bar is the radius vector. So we get V bar is equal to omega bar cross R bar. So in this way, this gives us the relation between linear motion and angular motion. V bar is the linear velocity, omega bar is the angular velocity, and that's why we get V bar is equal to omega bar cross R bar in a vector form. Remember this relation. Always this omega lies along the axis, linear velocity along the tangent, and radius vector along the radius from the center of circle to the circumference. Now, if this particle moving in a clockwise sense, then what happen? For that purpose, again we draw the same diagram. This is the center O. From the center we draw the radius vector. And particles are moving in a clockwise sense. Then in that case what happen? If particle is initially at position A, then velocity is along the tangent. Velocity is along the tangent. Then omega, in that case, according to right hand rule. So in this way, curved finger denotes the motion of the particle and thumb denotes the direction of the omega. So direction of omega is in a downward direction. Direction of omega is in downward direction. So in this way, when particle moving in anti-clockwise sense, omega is in upward direction. If particles are moving in a clockwise sense, then velocity, it is again along the tangent but in downward direction. So this is the direction of tangential velocity. in this way, and therefore omega is in also downward direction. But it performs same relation, V bar is equal to omega bar cross R bar. So remember this relation between linear velocity, linear motion and angular motion. V bar is equal to omega bar cross R bar. So in this way, we study the direction of V bar and omega bar. Now, if particles are moving in anti-clockwise sense, or if you consider motion of the blades of the fan, initially when switched on, then fan start to move, then omega is increasing. Omega is increasing because V is increasing. Means linear velocity increasing, therefore omega is also increasing. And in that case, alpha is along the same direction, that of the omega. So direction of alpha and omega are along the axis in same manner. When fan is switched on, if fan is switched off, then motion goes on decreasing in anti-clockwise, same sense. In anti-clockwise sense, if omega is decreasing, therefore V is also decreasing, because we know the relation V is equal to omega R, and therefore omega is decreasing. V is as like this one, sense is anti-clockwise, therefore it is in upward direction. But as omega is decreasing, so this is the direction of omega bar and this is the direction of alpha bar. In that case, alpha and alpha are along the axis but opposite to each other. So remember again, when fan is switched on, then omega in alpha both are along the axis in same direction. And when fan is switched off, means velocity, both velocities, linear velocity and angular velocities goes on decreasing. Then alpha bar is in along the axis but in downward direction. It is in a downward direction. So remember that when fan is switched on, then V goes on increasing, means linear velocity goes on increasing. Angular velocity also goes on increasing, and alpha and omega are all along the same axis, along the same direction. But when fan is switched off, linear velocity goes on decreasing, angular velocity goes on decreasing, but alpha is in opposite direction along the axis, means direction of omega and alpha are opposite to each other. This is the basic point. When omega is increased and omega is decreasing. Now again we come to the point circular motion. In case of circular motion, we know that what is circular motion? The motion of an object along the circumference of circle is called as circular motion. This motion is called as circular motion. Now if we consider linear velocity or linear speed in circular motion, if we concentrate on the linear speed, this is the center of circle O. A particle is at position A, this is the direction of linear tangential velocity and its magnitude is constant, means linear velocity or linear speed is constant. If we consider another position, say B, on the circumference, then radius vector and linear velocity are perpendicular to each other, but magnitude of both velocities are same. If we consider another third point, say C, when particle is at C, then R bar and a V bar are perpendicular to each other. In that case, we know that Direction of velocity continuously goes on changing, but magnitude remains same. Or in another word, we can say that linear speed remains constant. Such a type of circular motion is called as uniform circular motion. In short, we write UCM. U stand for uniform, C stand for circular, and M stand for motion. Uniform circular motion. This word uniform stand for constant. In this motion, which quantity remains constant? Linear speed remains constant, and that's why such type of circular motion is called as uniform circular motion. If you consider the diagram, this velocity having magnitude 5 meter per second, this velocity having same magnitude 5 meter per second, this velocity having magnitude 5 meter per second. In that case, magnitude remains same, means linear speed remains same, and that's why such type of motion is called as uniform circular motion. So what is the definition of uniform circular motion? The motion of an object along the circumference of a circle with constant linear speed is called as uniform circular motion. So remember again, what is the definition of uniform circular motion? In case of uniform circular motion, uniform means remains constant. Which quantity remains constant? Linear speed of particle or object remains constant. That's why such circular motion is called as uniform circular motion. Now we again concentrate on the definition of uniform circular motion. The motion of an object along the circumference of circle with constant linear speed is called as uniform circular motion. That motion is called as uniform circular motion. Now we have to study the uniform circular motion. In uniform circular motion, only linear speed remains constant. Linear velocity continuously changing due to the change in the velocity. Now see here, when particle is at position A, this is the direction of linear velocity along the tangent. Again, when particle is at position B, then velocity is in this direction. If you compare both this direction continuously goes on changing tangentially, and that's why we can say that in a uniform circular motion, linear speed of an object remains constant, but a linear velocity goes on changing due to the change in the velocity, due to the change in the direction of velocity. As there is change in the direction of velocity, we know that acceleration is the physical quantity which depends upon the change in the velocity with respect to time. As there is change in the velocity, therefore this type of motion is called as accelerated motion. Means uniform circular motion is accelerated motion. Why it is called as accelerated motion? Because the velocity changes continuously due to the change in the direction. Therefore it is called as accelerated motion. Now second point. Now if particle is at position A and particle moving in anti-clockwise sense, then after some time again particle comes at point A. This motion repeats in equal interval of time. And therefore it is also called as periodic motion. So in terms of uniform circular motion, we write the characteristics of the uniform circular motion is as like that. It is accelerated motion. Motion repeats in equal interval of time. Therefore next characteristics of uniform circular motion is it is periodic motion. Now In this way, we characterize the uniform circular motion. Now we know that as angular velocity of each particle remains same, angular velocity of particle remains same, therefore we can say that angular acceleration is also zero, because we know that acceleration is the physical quantity which depends upon change in the velocity with respect to time. Angular acceleration is constant, therefore angular velocity is constant, therefore angular acceleration is zero in case of uniform circular motion. And also tangential velocity is along the tangent, therefore tangential acceleration is also zero, because in that case magnitude is also constant, magnitude of velocity remains constant, therefore acceleration, tangential acceleration is zero. Means we can say that angular velocity remains constant, therefore angular acceleration is zero. Also angular tangential acceleration is also zero. And during the uniform circular motion, work done by the body always remains zero. Work done, in that case displacement becomes zero, and displacement is zero, therefore we know the formula for work done is equal to force into displacement is zero, so product becomes zero. So in case of UCM, work done on a body becomes, or it is always zero. So this is uniform circular motion. Now another one is non-uniform circular motion. Non-uniform circular motion. Non-uniform. Non means not. Uniform. Not remains constant. Which quantity not remains constant? Linear speed. Linear speed not remains constant, means it is variable. It is variable. Linear speed, then that circular motion is called as non-uniform circular motion. So in that case, we can define the definition of non-uniform circular motion. Initially when fan is switched on, then initial velocity is zero. It start to increase. If we at point A it is 5 meter per second, then it goes on increasing. At B it will become 7 meter per second. At point C it is 9 meter per second. So in this way velocity continuously goes on increasing. In that case velocity goes on increasing, also linear speed is also goes on increasing. So we can say that, so in case of non-uniform circular motion, the linear speed as well as linear velocity both are changing. Linear speed changes by the magnitude and linear velocity changes by magnitude as well as direction, and that's why in case of non-uniform circular motion there is variable linear speed, and that's why it is called as non-uniform circular motion. So what is the definition of non-uniform circular motion? The circular motion or the motion of an object along the circumference of circle with variable linear speed is called as non-uniform circular motion, as like this diagram. Now we have to characterize the non-uniform circular motion. Now in that case, linear speed continuously goes on changing, means magnitude of linear speed goes on changing. Also magnitude of linear velocity continuously goes on changing in magnitude and in direction. Therefore, such type of motion is also called as accelerated motion. Such type of motion is also called as accelerated motion, because we know that acceleration is a physical quantity which depends upon change in the velocity with respect to time. There is acceleration in a non-uniform circular motion, so such type of motion is called as accelerated motion. Now it is also periodic motion, because as it is moving in a anti-clockwise sense, after some time particle comes at position A, in a equal interval of time, and therefore such type of motion is also called as periodic motion. So if we consider both type of motion, uniform circular motion and non-uniform circular motion or circular motion, characteristics of circular motions are, it is accelerated motion and it is also periodic motion. In this way we studied that this circular motion is accelerated motion and also it is periodic motion. Now we have to study some characteristics of the non-uniform circular motion. As we know that in case of non-uniform circular motion, the speed of particle continuously goes on changing. Also the direction of velocity continuously changing. Therefore it is accelerated motion. Therefore it is accelerated motion. During the non-uniform circular motion, the body, on a body, there is centripetal force and tangential force. There is centripetal force and tangential force acting on the body. Work done by the centripetal force is 0. Work done by the centripetal force is 0, but work done by tangential force is not 0. Work done by the tangential force is not 0, and that's why there is kinetic energy. There is kinetic energy, or it's a kinetic energy of non-uniform circular motion continuously goes on changing. In this way kinetic energy, velocity goes on changing, therefore kinetic energy also goes on changing. So this is the main difference between uniform circular motion and non-uniform circular motion. Now we have to study the next point, dynamics of the circular motion. So first of all, everybody knows the dynamics. What is the dynamics? Dynamics of the circular motion. As our chapter name is rotational dynamics. So first what is the dynamics? We study what is the dynamics. Dynamics means when body is in a motion without its with its causes, then it is called as dynamics. In case of dynamics we consider causes of the motion. Now when we consider circular motion, causes of the circular motion are two forces. One is a centripetal force and another one is centrifugal force. These are the causes of the motion, and that are centripetal force and centrifugal force. Centripetal force. So for that purpose again we draw the diagram of circular motion, because it is the causes of the circular motion. So we draw the diagram of circular motion. Now this is the center of circle. This one is the radius vector r bar. When particle is at position a force acting on a particle along the radius directed toward the center, means in this way, that force is called as centripetal force. That force is called as centripetal force. So with the help of this diagram we can write the definition of centripetal force. So what is the definition of centripetal force? We study the dynamics of circular motion. In case of dynamics of the circular motion, there are two forces, centripetal force and centrifugal force. So what is centripetal force? The force acting on a particle along the radius directed toward the center is called as centripetal force. So in short we write, it is along the radius towards center of circle, and therefore it is called as centripetal force. Therefore, it is called as centripetal force. Now, when you consider centrifugal force, now for that purpose, this force is also along the radius. It is also along the radius but away from the center of circle, and it is called as centrifugal force. It is called as centrifugal force. So what is the definition of centrifugal force? The force acting on a particle along the radius away from the center is called as centrifugal force. So we write it is also along the radius but away from the center of circle. It is called as centrifugal force. With the help of this diagram, we can explain the definition of centripetal force and centrifugal force. So what is centripetal force? The force acting on a particle along the radius directed toward the center of circle is called as centripetal force. And what is centrifugal force? It is the force acting on a particle along the radius away from the center of circle is called as centrifugal force. Now, when we consider the centripetal force, it is a real force. It is real force. It arises due to the non-interaction, therefore it is called as real force. And when you consider centrifugal force is a non-real force. It is non-real force. This is the major difference between centripetal force and centrifugal force. Centripetal force is a real force. It arises due to the non-interaction, and centrifugal force is non-real force. Now, this centripetal force arises in inertial frames of reference. In last year, we studied about the frame of reference. There are two types of frame of reference: inertial frame of reference and non-inertial frame of reference. So this centripetal force arises in inertial frames of reference, and centrifugal force is experienced in non-inertial frame of reference. It is experienced in non-inertial frame of reference. Now, next point is, when we consider centripetal force, this centripetal force is the responsible for uniform circular motion. This centripetal force is responsible for uniform circular motion. So, remember this point. This centripetal force is responsible for uniform circular motion, and this centrifugal force is not responsible for uniform circular motion. Centripetal force is the cause of the circular motion. It is the one of the cause of the circular motion, while this centrifugal force is the effect of the circular motion. It is the effect of the circular motion. And last point, with the help of this one, we can write the vector form of centripetal force. Centripetal force, it depends upon radial acceleration or centripetal acceleration, and force into mass is the force, mass into acceleration is the force. Therefore, we write mass into centripetal acceleration, m omega square r bar. It is directed toward the center, therefore it is -1. Also, it is equal to minus mv square upon r into r0 bar. R0 bar is the unit vector along the radius vector. It is the unit vector along the radius vector. There is negative sign because the centripetal force acting along the radius directed toward the center, and as it is directed towards center, there is negative sign. Now the centrifugal force is away from the center, therefore centrifugal force is equal to mass into acceleration m omega square r, that is equal to mv square upon r into radius vector r0 bar. R0 is the unit vector along the radius vector. So in this way we study the dynamics of the circular motion.